Right, so basically in the past 2 months, I've probably don't know if I can describe it as the worst time of my life because I've had a lot of shit times, but I've personally struggled with a lot of stuff um, since being a teenager. So I've had some really shocking times where I've not been able to handle myself or handle situations that are negative or sad or whatever. Um, but as I've got older now, so 22, I've slightly progressed being able to handle things a little bit better and a little bit more calmly. Um, but then, obviously, that can only, you can only try and do that to the best of your extent. And then if something really bad happens and you tend to struggle with controlling my own thoughts and controlling how I um how I handle myself and handle my head and try and make sure that I don't lose my head like I have done in the past. Um, this is definitely harder than I expected to make a video of expressing what's been happening with me. But yeah, basically, I've been in the past few months. I've been struggling more so than usual because I've had a really shit thing happen, and obviously it happens to everybody. Well, most people at least once during their lifetime. But so, I've ended up having me and my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, have broken up now, which is obviously really sad. As we've been going out a while. And I love him loads, and I've never loved anybody. Never loved anybody before, so I thought I had when I was younger, but I hadn't. So this has been the hardest thing because obviously when you lose someone that you love and you still love them, and you spend all your time with them, and for the past 2.5 years, like I have, not all the time, but obviously I had a really close relationship and intense in the respect of we both fell in love with each other really quickly, really intensely, and it was really, really special and great. Which again, I'm sure everybody experiences at least once, maybe. So obviously, when that comes to an end, and when you didn't want it to come to an end, and just plug my charger in. But yeah, when shit like that happens, it's in my opinion, because I've had few experiences with grief, and but it's basically someone's died, when somebody gets taken out of your life or goes out of your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's obviously fucked, it's awful. It's just sad for me because I almost worry that I'll never just find anybody I've been as comfortable with or compatible with, or that I enjoy somebody's company as much as I would enjoy his, get on with as well, make each other laugh, that type of thing. And I think one of the hardest things for me is like I've never felt comfortable ever with somebody else properly ever. And my ex-boyfriend is the first person I've ever felt comfortable and happy, completely happy with myself with. And unfortunately, as time's gone on, things have just deteriorated. Because I know, like, well, I know obviously, like, a lot of relationships do, especially when you're young. Most relationships are very difficult to keep great and keep, like, positive and that type of thing. But, like, it's kind of, like, really digressed really terribly, probably over, like, the last 9 months or whatever. Things just got really shitty. And I'm not really sure, like, I can't really put my finger on why. I think there's, like, been a lot of things. But obviously then, it's really, really difficult to try and compute how, if you've lived your life completely for the past 2.5 years almost as like a duo, and all your future plans have been like thinking about planning, have been planned with that person, and everything, every sort of detail in how you live your life and how you think and how you navigate yourself changes overnight, and everything is really different and difficult to handle, and to try and not lose my head about it, because obviously it's fucking sad. It's really sad. It's probably maybe the saddest I've ever been, but in a different way. Like, and I'm gonna do a few of these like vlog accounts where I describe things that have happened to me in the past, where I can sort of build a catalogue of experiences that I've personally gone through and struggled with, and yeah, just a way of like expressing myself in a different way, my emotions in a different way, which will be interesting to interpret. But yeah, so I feel like this is, as an older person who's maybe a bit more aware and a bit more like, this is the worst I've ever felt, and I don't really know how things are going to go forward at the moment, because it's very confusing, and like in a way I think like a lot of things have come to an end and almost can't really go back to as much as I really want them to, as much as I really, really want them to, probably more than anything ever right now. I think at the end of the day, maybe that this is the end of that road or chapter or whatever. It sounds a bit cringy, but I'd do anything in my power to try and work things out, but I think, unfortunately, I'm not so sure that can happen this time. And I think because it's over now, and it's been over now for like, as I speak, and it has been for 2 months, yeah, like, but like recently, or literally a few days ago, I ended up seeing him for the first time, and we ended up sleeping together, and then he stayed over, and everything was absolutely great. Felt really normal, felt really, probably the most content calm, settled I've felt in those 2 months, maybe in quite a long time actually. But I think maybe because we haven't seen each other for a while, or like 2 months, obviously things, you miss people, and I think in both of our heads maybe it wasn't fully finished, and then he almost like basically, well, he almost said that he like wanted to like give things another go, but like I think in my mind, as much as I really want to be like, yeah, so much, can't even tell you how much I'm on anything. I think that I've always got it into my head that in the last 2 months that things have come to an end, and obviously seeing him and sleeping with him and having that, like, spending that time together, which is probably all I've been wanting to do for the past 2 months. It's been really fucking confusing for me because it's almost like kind of reminded me that we can be great together, but it's not the same at the moment because there's like so much that's left unsaid, and it's making me feel really anxious and nervous, and I'm pretty terrified really because I think that whatever happens, I will have to deal with either trying to build up a relationship, which I think's been really badly damaged now, and it'd be really difficult and take a lot of effort, and putting myself like on that platform to get like where I can get like fucked again, like really badly fucked up in the head, and like I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to lose him. And then there's the other option of completely leaving it and just coming to terms with it being over. And then that'll be it then. And I don't think that that actual feeling of it being properly over has occurred yet. So I think when I've got to deal with that when that does come, and that might be the way things go, I think that'll be a whole new different thing to have to deal with, which will be probably a lot more difficult than anything has been so far. It's scary.